And good evening, everybody, and welcome to another Odin Wednesday. And today we are going to be doing something slightly special. I've finally gotten WASM working on the Odin compiler. Yes, that is correct. I haven't abandoned the Midgard project yet, but I have got WASM working for Odin, which means we've got a hell of a lot further along technically than we did with Midgard. Now, there are a few hiccups. I will first off wait for people to come onto the stream, but the hiccups I had to do, unfortunately, is because of LLVM, and it seems like I still require a linker for no reason, literally no reason at all. And I've been discussing with someone on earlier. Says, "Oh yeah, I see what you mean now." And I'm like, "Yeah, like I generate." It is just generate a WASM file from the LLVM stuff, but it never exports anything unless even if I explicitly tell it to. And then I have to pass it through the WASM linker. Again, don't know why, but I do. To then make exports. And it's like, why do I need this extra pass when you could have done it in a single pass? I don't know. But it works. So it's still heavily trying to get things working experimentally. And I'll probably make a new project to make some experiments with rather than this little hack I've got at the moment. And what I mean by that is I'm going to have to get some stuff going along. And then I'll have to create a new interface where I've got the foreign library and the foreign library imports it as it goes along and yada, yada, yada. And hopefully stuff should work. So in general, what I need and what I require is quite little from what I want from the WASM stuff. But yeah, hopefully that's all right. So I'm now a little rambled for the people who are just letting on, and I'm just going to little wait for people to come on stream. Because it's not on at the moment. So just wait a few minutes. I just realised I named this stream Development, but who cares? Because it is developer meant wrong. I'm great at typos, absolutely great. I swear I'm not dyslexic, but I've got typos everywhere. So the general idea that I've been trying to get with this stream, and hopefully this text is large enough for people to see. It might be need to go a bit larger. Whoops, go away. I didn't mean to click you, but I did. So I'll probably need to create a new project for all of this. It's just so we can do some cool stuff. Because at the moment I'm just doing the coding compiler, and it's probably not the best place to put it. But to prove this does work, I'm going to put some cleverer things in there. First off, I have a WASM generator every time, so what I've got is a little bit of a stupid build script. One, it builds the thing. I'm going to get rid of the temp file in both cases. Still use the LLVM backend, and it builds it. This shouldn't be run the demo, but that should be correct. So now it's doing a double build, so it takes a little long time, but hey, it works. And then we're going to get the WASM thing here. Open in a default browser. Let's get that to the side there. And then inspect console WASM. Oh, look, it is WASM. Exports. Add. And let's go 4, 5. We get 9. Isn't this wonderful? Just to prove it's doing this correctly, we're going to add another flipping procedure. Let's say do math. And what it does is some random math. I have no idea what that math is. Oh, math is complicated stuff. So WASM exports do math. I got 17, and that's correct, I think. Isn't this wonderful? Isn't it wonderful? And Yeah. I gotta love all of that stuff. So, we have now got stuff here. This is probably too small for people to see. So my goal, if I can do it, if I so do wish, is to see if I can get foreign imports, because I should be able to get the foreign system should be pretty clever in this case. So like foreign import, and then we have environment, because WASM imports is not defined, but is exports imports? No, that's not defined either. I can't remember what's in the back in the thing anyway. So generate WASM. I've got environment, I've got imports, but there's nothing. It says anonymous, which is probably correct. Yeah, I don't really do anything special here. So like WASM, window. Is there any other thing on the WASM? Like anything else except exports? Proto exports. Get exports? No, I don't know how to any of this works, by the way. Do I look like I know what WASM does? I don't. Right. So I think I need to add window WASM imports and then imports to the mix. So WASM imports is there. So WASM imports environment, and then we have all the rest. And there are quite a few imports on this list, but whatever. So for instance, I've been doing this stuff here. So I'm just going to add another import, just to make things interesting, of course. And this is going to be your what thing, of course. And in this case, all it's going to do is take x and y and return x times y minus 1. Oh, complicated mathematics that is. So we've now got the environment in this case. So this is the foreign import env, like so, and then foreign env u what. This should work. I've not actually tested this whatsoever, by the way. Whoops. Like so. And then what I'm going to do is from return math, do the u what xy. And default calling convention contextless for the time being, which is technically C, but well, C with Odin style stuff. Imports u what 1 2. U what is not a function. It is a function. It says there. Oh. It is a function now, and I should get 2. So let's do 3 4, and I get 11. Perfect. Okay. Okay. So that's that. Let's do math. So that's exports do math. 3 4. I get 11. So now this has actually shown me exactly that I am now able to get imported stuff. This is amazing, is what I've got to say. So this means I can now make a canvas code, make this the generator, and then talk to the canvas code if I needed. So I could create a function that said set pixel, for instance, as you would. So I'm trying to think of some ways of doing this. Now, I don't know much about anything, to be honest with you. Oops, HTML. look at this. It's cocked up the code, but it doesn't matter. It looks better on my end now. Anybody else reading fine from here on the chats? I can't see. Apparently there are people, I can't see the chat. People viewing and stuff, I don't know. I'll have to get up 2 streams at this rate. Ah! I heard myself. Not good, not good. There we go, better. So now we've got to do math stuff. So at the end of this, we now kind of have set pixel and all that nonsense. So the way I'm thinking about doing that is we have a .main on here, don't we? Do I actually export? Exports, and there is a main in there. And yeah, it does nothing. Absolutely nothing. But that is kind of what you want, because I haven't done anything yet with it. Because all this main does is it calls the other main, which I need it to do like, let's say print, and then this is going to have text string, like so. And we've got the uwhat, print, function, s. We do have this get string. Oh, it's just doing it differently. Okay. In this case, we need to get the string from the string that we pass in, which is the pointer and length, which is probably correct. But we need to get string. Because I'm going to guess it's going to store it as a pointer. Like this is going to be not just, it says pointer and length here. Because I've got a pointer and length, but we need to take the stuff apart. So how the heck do I do that correctly? Ooh, that is a good question. Seriously. Ooh, so how would I know? Because I get this pass, and it'll pass as a pointer, which is to be a pointer to the string. Now that needs to JavaScript pointer cast is what I kind of want. It's not pointers necessarily. Get pointer from pointer len. And in this case, I've now just got a pointer. Now that means if I do have a pointer, I then have to turn it into something else. So read int 64. Can I JavaScript read? No, I don't want to. So from uint8 array. Like I just want to get a uint, like an int84 data. So I need a data view. So we got the mem. Okay. We'll say const again. apparently this code is going to work. This is probably, I shouldn't be doing this, data view. Mem buffer, like so, maybe? Do I actually use the A? I do, yeah. But I don't want to know what stuff is on a uint array, because I want to see if there's anything like get a uint, getting a... So let's just test in here. Uint8 array. WASM. Exports. No, imports. MV linear memory. Yeah. Buffer. Yeah. Data view. Like so. Get big int. Oh, it does work. What does big int 64 mean exactly? So like for instance this, yeah. It's not an int 64 in this case. It is just an it is an int 32. What am I talking about? What am I talking about? Oh, hello everybody. Someone says, have you seen the movie The Big Short? Yes, I have seen the movie The Big Short. I don't know why it was a big int 4. I'm just thinking, I'm not thinking straight today. And no, not all numbers in JavaScript are what I want. So that's not exactly what I'm thinking about. So for instance, this, it is just get int 32, which is what I want. Like that. So this will be the string putter. That's the putter. Whoops, I didn't mean to do that. Len. So this would be a pointer to the length. So putter to data. Pointer to length. Slice 1 times 4 to 2 times 4. Because now I want to get the data here. And then I need to get the data again. I need to load. Oh, fuck. Right, this is probably not correct. I shouldn't be doing all this nonsense at the moment. There is probably a hell of a lot simpler way of doing this. Print string putter length const x equals that, and then we can just say console log s. So this is going, I won't call this print, I'll call this string pointer length, call it something long, because then I don't accidentally touch it. Pointer is UA, len is an int, then that's technically correct. And then, oops, proc s string, let's import core mem, and then mem raw string like so, and then like so, and then I can write hello, to this entire thing. And, oops. Ooh, it's got all this nonsense still in there. So WASM exports main. And, oh, it did nothing then. So it tried to print something, but nothing actually printed. Which is probably, I don't know. So that is getting called correctly, but none of that the thing was getting set. So this is probably wrong. Which is likely, very likely. Let's look at the build bat. Let's keep temp files, wasm.ll, print, what was it called? I just wrote it and I don't remember what it was called. Print string cutter length. Yeah, you got a pointer and an I32, which is exactly what I expect it to be. And then we got a print string, which does a hell of a lot of stuff here, really. Like so. Shouldn't need to do that much, but it is. So now we've got print. So this is the problem, is it's taken a pointer, but it should be... My worry is I don't think it's been initialized correctly. Like, there's no entry point. Like, what are in the exports? Because there should be a bunch of crap, to be honest with you. And yeah, there is a bunch of crap. But there's also a bunch of non-crap. Like table base, memory base, everything else. This shouldn't be in there, by the way, but what is the actual value of that? CSB $11, and it's an empty string initializer. Well, it hasn't been set as internal correctly. Whoops. So, I don't think this is correct. Any ideas, everyone? Like, I've used this code before and I know it's worked, but I don't know why it's not working now. So, like, that's the memory. Like, that's the memory in WASM. And then that memory, which is, I'm just going to call it a thingamabob, we can then get some data from that memory, right? We can say new uint array, and it should have data in there. So, like, what is the byte length? So let's call, say, const mem. Yeah, mem length, it's 0. Let's call that the linear memory. What is on that exports? Ah, that's what I did wrong. Yeah. New uint 8 array dot length is 0. So what? That makes no sense. Like, it literally makes no sense. Any help from the audience? Any help whatsoever? So my question here Can I get rid of that? There we go. Perfect. Why is this of length 0? Do I have to do that? Yes, I do. Okay, so I did it wrong then. And then if I write length, I get a huge amount of length. This is exactly what I expect, 16 megabytes, which is a lot. I don't need that much, but I'm just saying it anyway. Like, I'm going to get rid of the indirect table. Like, I don't think I need one. What about the stack pointer? Do I need the stack pointer? I don't think I do. It's 11. Now, I'm going to check that I do, when I do math, I'm going to do zx plus y. If z is greater than z, 0, z equals 0. No, let's call z equal, I'll say 1. And then we can do z there instead of x, instead of y. Okay. So it's 32. So I want, and then if I look at the DLL here of do math, it's still, it hasn't done any. It's just done it on pure registers, because that can be registered. It's not purely, damn. How would I make it? I got an idea. This will make it allocate memory. This is not clearly unsafe at all, is it? And I look at the code to do math. And look, it allocates some memory. Now, this means I didn't need to set the stack pointer either. So do I need to set the linear memory? Or will that be set correct elsewhere? Linear, like I'm going to do that, and it actually hasn't even cared, which I'm actually surprised at. What is the details on this memory? Like, because I don't probably need to set any linear memory, do we? So what else is there? Like length? No. Like, I don't know what the other properties are. Can I clear this thing? Oh, there are errors apparently. Okay. Mega roof, yes, there's one dislike and no likes oft. I need to be corrected straight away, please, everybody, please. You know what you need to do. You know what we need to do is do it straight away. Right, so we're getting WASM working on Odin. It should be absolutely wonderful and fun. But of course, I am trying to figure out how things work. I can't even print a string at the moment, which is not fun. But I wonder, it's because I know why. It's because this thing doesn't make any sense. No, it doesn't. So, after this is all set, window 3 to 1. Better than all converse chances to get back in F1. Yeah. That's a little, it's a little harsh, but yeah, maybe true. Yeah, so now we've set the WASM memory. I think this may actually work. So if I go to main, yeah, it's still blank. And is that because I've not actually set the thing correctly? Yeah, it's because I haven't set it correctly anymore. Yeah, hello. So now everything's working. It's because it wasn't the right memory. It seems like it's actually being set now globally. So it seems to be set in the things. That's what the WASM linker does, but I was expecting to do that manually, which I don't actually mind doing. But whatever. I like Hulkenberg as well. But it's not... Well, I don't mind him. I should put it on my... Like, yeah, it's fine, whatever. Right, so... Now we've got some text stuff there. That means we've got some debugging code. You know what this means, don't you? We now can go to the wonderful code of... yeah, you can guess it, can't you? We've got this body text... And we can make this one big thing. Yeah, that's absolutely fine with me. And in here, we're going to write canvas. And guess what we're going to do? The canvas. Oh, we got a canvas here. Look, guys. Look, canvas. So... we need to set what the size of this canvas is, and we're going to say width is going to be, let's try a decent size at least. So like 1640 pixels by height. Oh, no, let's try. Let me get some. Yeah, 1640 by, say, 360. That sounds like a very good resolution to me. Not a New Year's resolution, but it's a resolution nonetheless. Canvas, there ain't no fabric. No, it ain't yet. So, my idea here is I don't know much JavaScript, but we can do... I know a lot about Odin. For some reason, I know a lot about Odin, and there might be a reason for that. So... if that is the case, let's get rid of the uwhat and let's do set pixel, and it's going to be a function of x, y, and then a color. The color is going to be here, and I need to find out how you do this in a canvas. Set pixel. I want a single pixel in the canvas and nothing else. So how the heck do I get the canvas? Don't pretend to be Mr. Turing. Well, I'd have to be dead. Now, let's get the canvas ready and see what goes on, of course. So, I cannot remember how to do any of this. We need to document... I know what you need to do. You need to do is var, or let, let's do let canvas equals document get element by ID. And it's the canvas. We need to get the context. It's the canvas, get context. And in this case, it's 2D. We're not going WebGL yet. W is going to be the width. So canvas width, height. Let's say fill canvas for the time being. And all it does is literally nothing. And then on our side here, we can then call it. And we can call it here after we've done the hello. We can then start doing clear rect. And then we can start actually doing some data, like fill rect, if I can remember. Is that correct? X dot like fill style RG, is it RGBA like that? So let's do two, or is it between 1 and 0? Yeah, it's 1, 0. So let's do orange, because orange is a color. It exists ish. And then we're going to fill a rectangle between 0, 0 width and height. And then it says, okay, we haven't got something's gone wrong. You what? Yeah, it says it was trying to import you what, and it didn't exist, which is exactly as I expected because I got rid of it. Which means it just showed me an error at least, which is nice. Right, I just wanted to see if the stack was being worked correctly then, that was all. So, WASM exports fill canvas. Oh, it's not been exported yet. But in math, no, it doesn't need to be exported. Because we got main, and oh, look at that, it's gone black. That's not what I wanted. But it did it. And, yeah. I think I've got... Is it fill, red, and then we do fill like so. We don't need to clear the canvas. And then it says fill. I wanted red, but it's not gone red. Or do I have to begin path and set the rectangle? Is that the... This is a not very well designed thing at all. Let's do that. Look, guys, look. I got a red rectangle. Which means I can do stuff. I can, seriously, yeah. So what we can do here... this is the... C'est magnifique. It is great things going on here. Is we can do a fill canvas. And we can do a rectangle. So X, Y, W, H for the time being. So W, so X, Y, W, H, X, Y, W, H, and that's going to be an integer. And then the canvas here, I'm just going to call it as, say, 10, 10, 150. And it says W is, what? Not defined. WH, WH, WH. There we go. There we go. Look at that. How much I had to drink? Not much yet. Who gets? But look at how wonderful that is already. And we have now been able to get this, and we are getting this mostly written in Odin. We have to write loads of bloody code in WASM and JavaScript. Oh god, I hate the word JavaScript. That's the best way of putting it. So yeah, remember there is the Burke stream here, which is, you've got a much better layout and stuff. Recommend that. Other things to recommend at the moment is my previous or latest article at the moment, which I wrote, which is Pragmatism in Programming Proverbs, because I couldn't be bothered to write a prose style, and I had all these ideas in my head, and I thought, I need to get them out and just write them in this style. So it was a bit of an experiment, and it seems to be gone favourably, actually well. Many people are enjoying it. I may go over some of the quotes rather than actually my proverbs. Yeah, self-promotion on my own stream. Yes. But some of the stuff here is kind of, it's okay. So some of the, actually one of the quotes here is from Aristotle, and someone was actually not understanding what it meant. So I'll actually have to read it out, and I understand it clearly because I've read a lot of Aristotle anyway, but I wanted to make sure people understood what this quote meant. So this is actually pretty much explaining the basics of the first principle thinking, which is extremely useful in engineering in general and any kind of problem solving. So I'm just going to read it out, and if anyone's got any questions, please ask. So in every systematic inquiry where there are first principles, like first principles to start from, we would call these axioms nowadays, or causes or elements, knowledge and science result from acquiring knowledge of these. So we need to know what these actually things are to actually understand whether these ideas come from these principles of the nature are the world, how the world works. For we think we know something just in case we acquire knowledge of the primary causes, the primary first principles, all the way to the elements. So we need to know how we can get down to the bedrock, or trying to understand how things work. It is clear then that in the science of nature, so this is the science of how the world works, as elsewhere, we should try to determine questions about these first principles. Okay? So that's what you're trying to discern, is what are kind of the, not necessarily the laws of nature, but like how do the governing principles behind the things, which is similar but not exactly. The naturally proper direction of our road, so the path we're going to need, the direction we need to go, is from things better known and clearer to us, to things that are clearer and better known by nature. So we do. So this, what this step means is, we do not do what we think how reality works. Is we actually observe how reality works, because we have a model in our head of how reality works, and that is not technically correct. It's just a way of interpreting the world, and we need to analyze it and keep updating our model of how the world works by actually observing how nature works. So for the things known to us are not the same as the things known unconditionally. Same thing, so carry on. Hence, it is necessary for us to progress following this procedure from the things that are less clear by nature, but clearer to us, towards things that are clearer and better known by nature. Okay, so this is pretty much, again, it's the idea is that look, this is how, reality is not how you think it is. And I know that sounds like I'm misinterpreting or rephrasing it. I'm just trying to do it in like modern words rather than 2,000-year-old language. And there's many things here, like from different people. So I've got like Aristotle, I've got William James, I've got Mike Acton in there as well, Fred Brooks, I've got Tony Hoare, Alan Kay, Rob Pike, and Niklaus Witt as well. Now, Niklaus Witt, one of my favourites on there is just the one at the end, which is increasingly people seem to interpret complexity as sophistication, which is baffling. You clearly would be doing this in a Swiss accent, not in a very English one, but let's carry on. The incomprehensible should cause suspicion, not admiration. Possibly this results from the mistaken belief that using a mysterious device confers extra power on the user. Again, there's many things here. Like a lot of them are kind of like riffing on the same kind of general idea, but I like it. Like Rob Pike's one is data dominates. If you've chosen the right data structures and organized things well, the algorithms will almost be self-evident. Data structures, not algorithms, are central to programming. And the famous one as well, which is from Fred Brooks, which is the exact same thing, but slightly different phrasing. Show me your flowcharts and conceal your tables, I shall continue to be mystified. Show me your tables, and I usually don't need your flowcharts because they'll be obvious. So to rephrase this, tables in this case means data structures, and flowcharts means your algorithms. It's the old-fashioned language for the same thing. That's what it means. So if I rephrase it in the new language, show me your algorithms and conceal your data structures, I shall continue to be mystified. Show me your data structures, and I won't usually need your algorithms. They'll be obvious. So that's kind of the thing. And again, it's stressing the usually, not always, but usually. And again, it's very good. I kind of like this. It's just kind of proverbially style. It's not prose, so it's just to get the point over very quickly. Back to the regularly scheduled thing tonight, which is the WASM for Odin. Okay, so we want to fill the canvas, and we've now got this here. And just to prove that we can do this, we also want to put a colour in here, and I want to say the fill style, we need to set this up correctly. Canvas context fill style, like what parameters does it take? So I'm looking, and it takes fill style, yeah, whatever. It seems to be either a hex value or a gradient or a pattern, but I don't understand. Well, maybe I do understand, but I don't know what's going on. WASM, more like I'm gonna kill myself, WASM. Yeah. It's Odin. Look, that's great. It's great. Just that. So I need to have a color in here, and I might just put color, and I'm going to find out if this works. And what I'm going to do here is and I'm going to put color U32, and I'm going to see what, oh, that's not correct, do that. it goes black. Okay, so it's just saying, is it a number? Oops. And it's, oops, that's not correct. Okay, that's fine. And what I may do actually as well in this code is window.wasm exports main, and actually call the main procedure every single time now, and it just calls it and initializes it, and if I need to do anything special, it'll do it. So we got the printing of the hello, so we now got some debug printing. That's absolutely wonderful again. Nothing special there, but it works. Okay. This color thing here, whoops, ignore that. We're going to assume it's all little endian, of course, and now we can turn this our color. If it's little endian, we can make a hell of a lot of assumptions actually if it's little endian. So we can say it's RGBA. So I'm going to pretend like I know what I'm talking about. I don't really. Let's say that color. That sounds like a lovely color in my opinion. So let's say 24 RGBA 16 8 8 oops 0 oops yeah. And then what I'm going to do is divide that. Oops, what? That's the random thing at the end. And then what we can do here is RGB it. Like, I don't know how you're supposed to do this. Do I just write RGBA, or do I have to put it as a string or as a thingy-mabob? Who knows? Who knows? I don't. Do I have to... Look, someone probably knows a hell of a lot more than I do. How to do fill style and do it in a non-silly way. Like, I'm guessing I have to do this RGBA nonsense, which is not what I want, to be honest with you. This is kind of absolutely nonsense, and I mean that like just is. R G B A unexpected syntax. Yeah, I know there probably is there. Okay, and it's black still. Console log color that and uint32. Can I do that? Like, how do I convert to make sure it is at uint32? Oh, I don't know how to use these things correctly. I'll figure it out. I just want to go from a uint32 to a color and be done. Yeah? Like, this shouldn't be difficult. Is it possible... Actually, here's a question. Is it possible to just get... literally like the pointer? Yeah, I know normally it is already an int, I guess. That's what I'm trying to say. And it will be an int already, by the way. It is WASM. So it is coming out as an int. These will be WASM int parameters. They have to be. How it works. It's a bit magic. Yeah, I'm probably asking too much of JavaScript. And again, the context is probably the worst idea for me to try. let's say 1.501. Yeah, and that should give me orange, but it doesn't. So have I done something wrong? Well, if it does, then the docs were wrong. Yep, the docs are wrong. Fucking... I hate docs. The docs were wrong. Right, that's correct. Now I've got the right colour. And that's exactly what I expected. I'm doing it the obvious bad way, of course. So now, if that is the case, and I have got things correct, 20, 30, 40, 50, 30, 50, 70, 90. So let's go red, orange, yellow, green, cyan, blue. Just keep it blue. And if I do that, oh, look at that, guys! Look at that! Look at that! And that's all done. I could do loops, of course. This is now. We could not call this fill rectangle. Let's just say draw rec. Just call draw rec. Filled. And let's rename that to draw rec filled. We've now got that. Look how wonderful that is. Now my question is, can I get the canvas and can I just blit, literally blit, all of the information? So draw, let's say get canvas width and get canvas height, like so. We can do that, I guess. And we need to get the canvas. Is it part of the canvas? So yeah, it's here, isn't it? So return canvas width. And we can get the height now, can't we? Because then, what I want to do here is get canvas width. And then get canvas height. And I'm going to give it a weird background colour of that. And look, it's worked absolutely honky-dory. Isn't that wunderbar? Yep. So some weird aliasing effects there, but yeah, probably whatever. So now that's kind of fine. What I want to be able to do is I have the canvas in my thing and I just want to blit pretty much the exact same thing I've had here, but it's just as pixels. Now, is that possible? So if I give it a uint array, does it give me all the data, is my question. So what I need to write first, and I might need some help from the audience, because the audience are absolutely lovely people out there, aren't they? And I need some help from that. I need a function here is slice from pointer. Yeah? So we now got the memory. And then from our pointer, we want to get the data here, and I'm going to slice 2 times 4, which is the size of the uint 32, whatever. But yeah, and I'm going to put let's just do that, just to make everything clearer. We've now got the data to the thing. We want to then load from that data len, like so, And then we've then got a slice. Let's call this uint8 slice. So let's call this a byte slice rather than a thing, because it's the same as this really, but whatever. And then we can turn it into a string at the end of it, just to simplify things. And hopefully things go well. Can I, from that data now, or do I have to do data view, don't I? So, yeah. So if I do pointer now equals new data view pointer, yeah, and then I say get int 32, same with the length here, we can then do the same thing here. So now we've got pointer and len. Let's call this getString raw. Now did we have a print thing here? Yeah, we have a print. We can then change our print hopefully this works, and says point has already been declared. Well, has it? Oh, they're lets. Ah, that's why. There we go. Let's call that pointer. Let's then call it let pointer. Okay, it says pointer has already been taken. Oh, that's because... Has it? What? Pointer has already been taken. No. Oh yeah, it has. Shit. Whoops-a-daisy. How do I get back off to the console? There we go. Like that. This pointer's already been declared, hasn't it? So let's call that raw. Raw. And are we back? Yes, so we are back. Damn internet. Just cutting out, or is it just YouTube? I don't actually know which one. Okay, so we're looking at everything, and we're getting this error. It says data view. I don't know what I'm doing wrong here, so offset is out of bounds. So it might be because I only need to slice slightly differently. Console log raw. So it does it twice, interestingly. What the... Oh, you idiot, Bill. Ignore what I did. So now it just prints out nothing. Which is probably correct. So we want to look at what print does. And it passes a string in. Oh! But when you look at the WASM... Oh shit, we're going to have to get a WASM thing open, don't we? If I then upload the wasm.wasm and then look for print, type T3, and then it's 2 parameters, which is exactly what I was expecting. So it says, oh no. Oh. I didn't need to do all that nonsense, but it's fine. Putter len. Putter len. It actually has distributed it correctly. Oh, okay. Past Bill was very clever. Let's put it that way. Seriously, Past Bill already thought about this and thought, you know what? A slice could be passed into 2 registers. Why didn't he just do that? Clever Bill. Clever Bill. But not clever, Bill. You were thinking it was a pointer to a thing. No, you were clever just by passing it into 2 registers and be done. So everything is being hunky-dory now. So back to the real question. Can we canvas blit uint8 array is what my question is. Can I just blit a uint8 array to a canvas? And if I can, then this really is pretty damn awesome. So, because the reason why I'm going to state this is w equals get canvas width, get canvas height, and now I've just realized I don't have a malloc function yet. But that's not a problem, is it? Because I can make a malloc here. Oh ho ho. So we're going to call this, what's the, let's say malloc. Let's call malloc, yeah. And it's a function. We give it a size, and then we can do a return to it, can't we? So at the moment, I'm just going to get return 0. And that's fine. Let's not call it malloc. Let's call it memalloc, because it is memalloc. Actually, can I just test one other thing, actually? I want to just say, if I could have mem, it doesn't actually have to be. I think it should be correct with the all of the stuff. Let's call that an int. And then let's call it an I32 for definite. Mem has been redeclared. Oh, it's been. Let's call this memlib. Unexpected identifier. Oh, really? Oh, there's a comma. There's a bug in the compiler. So, LLVM backend, underscore JavaScript, and this is the. It is wrong. So it wasn't this. So what we need to do is go back to the compiler and we look for the foreign entity. It's a library name. GB assert foreign kind equals entity library. Library name, like so. So then when we build this compiler, it's going to have some compiler errors, entity library. Oh, it's a library name, is it? Oh, okay. Okay, so that was fine. We can then comment this back out again. And then it says memlib is not, it's not memlib. What the hell? Have I? Yeah, there's the problem, you moron. In this case, we are then going to check. No, the entity name was that, but this is paths. Dot count is greater than 0. We're going to put that in there. Actually, first rebuild the entire compiler. Okay, and now it says, okay, so mem module is not an object or function. What have I done wrong? Oh, bugger. Because it's gave me a full path. And it's not a path, is it? It's not a path. So we need to change the compiler again. And this is only for JavaScript, of course. So when we go... This might be in the parser, actually. Import foreign... Foreign decal. Paths, they're all token strings. So if we then go to check decal, foreign library in it. Foreign import decal, here we go. So it already has all of the full paths calculated, which suggests to me that the parser does set all the full paths. And like JavaScript is going to have a special path here, by the way. Else we're going to go back the normal path. We're also going to check to see if when we pass foreign path, we don't need that, we just can just add it. And in fact, we can then simplify this code as well, obviously, by doing this. And then it now works, which that means now that the alloc function is working out correctly. So we can turn this back. Right, we can get rid of the add. It's not. It's a bit stupid now, anyway. So the alloc is we're going to we have WASM exports like so. I'm going to look at the exports, and then we do have a heap pointer somewhere, don't we? Which is the heap base, and we're just going to increment it, and don't really. We can make it aligned as well. To be honest, we line to like 8 bytes or something. So window WASM exports heap base. Now we know this is an integer already. What's the difference, actually, is my question. Like, it's heap base, it says it's a global, and it says it's got a value in it. It's that. What's the global base? Slightly different. Oh, that's the base of the globals. So they only protect the first kilobyte. Oh, interesting. LOVN, that's all LOVN does. So what's memory base? 0, because it's 0, of course. So heap base is that. So we need effectively heap current heap offset, and we can then set that exports heap base. Do we get that set anyway? No, we don't. So then all we need to do and then we can then just do plus equals size, like so, and then our malloc does such a thing. It doesn't really do anything special. So if we did alloc pointer, because this would be our custom allocator, which we could actually set to do all of the cool stuff. Like we could actually just allocate a slice and it would work. I'd have to create a custom allocator for all this crap as well, but hey, this is not really an alloc. It's not even really decent of a style, but it works. Actually, we don't even need to do any of this, and I mean this seriously. Because we need to check because this will run out of memory and it will just go if we haven't got enough memory in there. But oh, so this hopefully people are enjoying this at least, because I have no idea how many people are watching, and it's just scrapping out on me. So I don't even see a chat. Okay, so I apologize. People have been watching and I didn't even see an updated chat, so I've just got it open in another stream now. Screw YouTube live. Hello, I didn't leave, the stream dived, and now gone to that. So someone's saying skip, go straight to WebGL, or wait, native code, oh wait, no. So here we've got malloc, and I mean this is my amazing mem.alloc, but at least to the Odin, I'm not joking, Odin's foreign import system works beautifully, and I mean this, works beautifully with these import systems. So at least we've got a pointer system here, and it's going to ask me, no. Oh, I don't need to keep compiling every time. Like so. And then it's got all this nonsense here. So now all I want to do is pretty much blit, as I've been asking, to blit some rectangles. Because I'm going to keep the size in here. So let's call this pixels. And I know how big they are already. So it's 640 by 360, and they're bytes. But they won't be bytes, they'll be U32s, correct? And then we just want to blit a slice. Blit pixels. Pixels U32, like so. And then we can then blit pixels. It's going to cry at me because it's not going to work. Blit pixels function pointer len, and it's asking me for 2, but that's because I'm going to do this. We are then going to do the not the old-fashioned, but this full approach. We're going to do that. We're then going to get the data, like so. We're then going to do slice of that data, len times by 4. So that's now the data. Const pixels data.buffer. New uint32 array. If that actually even works, to be honest with you, because it might not. Data is not a function. Data view. Oops. And then we do a slice. Sorry, it's not a function. That's what I did wrong. Const pixels. Someone's saying abandon YouTube rather than that, but I can't get Twitch to work again. That's about it. I'm just trying. It's been working fine, except then. I don't think YouTube was the problem. I think just my internet connection was crap. That was about it. So we now got the data, and I want to see if I can go. So uint32 array, and yeah, it's working. Now, can I set pixels? How do I do this? Does anybody have an idea how I'd go from it? Just set all the pixels. I want to set the image data is pretty much what I want to do. Canvas. Oh, the end path doesn't work. Okay, you have to just click begin path anyway. So this is the context. Get image data. Does this actually... What does this got on here? So I've got the docs on another one. Sorry. I've got put image data. That's exactly what I want. Put image data, and then you've got image data, and then dx and dy. Well, there's going to be a 0, 0, isn't it? And then it's just an array of pixels. Is it just that? No. Parameter 1 is not type of image data. Okay. That's probably not going to work. Image data. Let's look. MDN. What does it want? It wants data. Let's just give it the data instead. And then it wants to give it the width and height. So I know what they already are. So let's just hard code them for the time being. Parameter 1 is not a clamped array. And it says 0. That's not bugged out, has it? Okay. So they were all... It's different, at least. So what I'm going to do here, as that 0, we're then going to just set the pixel to be orange. And the top right pixel should be that. Let's just say 100 pixels in. Oh no, let's go 100 rows down plus 100 in. Yeah, that's right. I don't see an orange pixel anyway, which is probably not correct. But it's gone. I've put image data, but that's not right, is it? So what am I doing wrong? Because this makes no sense to me. Any ideas, anyone? Like, my idea here is I just want to blit some pixels to a canvas. And that is pretty much the idea. And I want to see if that's fast anyway. It might not be fast. I'm going to WebGL straight away. I am not joking. I'll just cut out the canvas and go to WebGL. But the canvas is probably slow. But I'm trying to just blit some pixels into an image data and... Bennett. I don't know what's going wrong. So here... Can I say console... .log of pixels. We've got that. And it's got loads of data in it. Oh, look at all this data. It's all 0. Which is exactly what I expect. Technically, I can... so for I in pixels... We can set the entire thing to be... We're expecting that to be orange. So if I now look in the data, it's all still 0. Which tells... Well, that's because I've said it afterwards, you moron. It's now going... It's now the opposite way around. Which means to me... So let's call it R... A... GBR. So if we do it the traditional way, to be honest with you, we've then got all of the different colours. So then if we then... I just go do this correct. Red, orange, yellow, green, cyan, blue... and do it the correct way around, we've now blitted the pixels the correct way. Oh my goodness, that is a... That was what I did wrong. That was all I did wrong, is I didn't do anything correctly. Because that says a lot, right? So now we're blitting pixels, and I honestly do wonder how fast this can run. Because I need a sleep. JavaScript sleep. Is there a sleep in JavaScript or a delay or whatever? Because I need to add one. Sleep function. Let's say, is it in milliseconds we need technically? Because it does seem like it is milliseconds. Yeah, and according to this, I need to do wait, promise, new, resolve. Oh, I don't want to do an async thing. Oh, for... But fine, let's try if it seems it works. Okay. Let's see if that works. So that is sleep ms xu32. Let's say sleep a second. And then we're going to change this to below. Unexpected word. Oh. Oh, okay, there. Really? Unexpected word, which was await, and I may need to be this be's async. It went straight to blue. There was no waiting. Which is not a good sign. So how do I... So that didn't work. It goes straight to blue. Oops. How would I need to, like, draw to the canvas, wait a while, then update? How does that work? Any ideas, anyone? Add async to the function creating the import table. I thought I did. But I don't think it's necessarily async. I need, like, like, there's probably a much better way of doing WASM sleep. I'm looking at the nonsense of some library someone's written, and oh my god, is it nonsense. Like, actual nonsense. Do I need to do request and frame animation? Because what I want to do, I could technically do this. So, is request frame animation just a normal call? Yeah? And it says callback. Oh, for... Wait, is it? Oh, I know how to do sleep, technically. There's a much easier way of doing sleep, isn't there? Wherever there's print, we're going to have print int. And we've got print int. And then we can then get the time, can't we? We want some JavaScript get time nanosecond. We want it in nanoseconds, technically, or whatever the smallest time unit is. Isn't it window performance now? Yeah, that's a float, isn't it? So we don't want that. That's a float 64, right? So if we go to here, okay. So we've now got print 64 time now. Performance now. So if I just do that, just to prove it to myself, print else for time now. If they're all the same time, I'll be really pissed off. Syntax error. Yeah, I forgot a comma. They're not. And interestingly, there are actually quite a lot of difference between them. Like, that's a large amount of time, but I doubt that's correct. Like, what is performance now? What is that in units of? Is that milliseconds? Oh, it's in milliseconds, is it? So we can do a sleep, can't we? And our sleep doesn't have to be in this side of the code. We can do it in this side of the code. And we can do it in milliseconds as well. So start time now. Let's call it time now for time being. And for time now is less than start plus the milliseconds. We're just going to do stuff. Do nothing. And then that's how we're going to sleep. Oh, that's such a bad idea. But oh wow, that kind of worked. So what next thing you need to do is yeah, so it's not going to update until that function is called and all the processing is done. I'm going to change that to sleep second. I need to put a no op in here for the time being, but whatever. We only want to wait 1 second. But it's not working, so I need something to force update of canvas HTML. Like, is it force update? Someone's going to say, I want to just draw it. Like, I just want to kind of like swap, I just want to render the buffer. That's what I want to do, is like say render buffer, render buffer, render buffer. Because then I can switch between the two colors at a time. And then it works, is my idea. Because Web OpenGL should do this quite easily, no? So I could always go literally bind Web OpenGL, like pretty quite WebGL, I mean, sorry, not Web OpenGL, but you know what I mean. Like, it shouldn't be difficult to bind by the looks of it. Like, I think WebGL should be kind of trivial to you at the end of the day. I'm going to actually ask this question. Is there any actual reason to use WebGL over Canvas, like Canvas over WebGL, other than, like, say, support? Because to me, WebGL pretty much does everything Canvas does, but it's a little bit more low level, which is kind of what I want. Like, I know WebGL does 3D, but I'm thinking about just 2D only. Like, I don't see any benefit to if it's slower. It really looks like it is slower. There's not really any. Like, what is the web API for? I want the most basic example for WebGL. That's all I want. And like, one thing I can do in here, which might actually work, by the way, is document. Well, this is actually the problem, because this script is before everything. So if I put it after everything, like, or actually just, you know, like at the end of the body, it might actually be a little bit more sensible. So then, get element by ID, the canvas, get context, WebGL, and the reason why I state that is because then the rest I can completely ignore just for the time being, and it works. And then there's many things that's been imported. We can theoretically have the entire WebGL. Let's call that lib. Let's call them all libs, actually, by the way, because then it's just clearer. Yeah? So what things can I call in WebGL necessarily? Like, I'm looking at the most basic example, and to be frank, it doesn't look that basic. Like, it looks quite complicated. Good God, the amount of code I have to write. Oh, I don't like doing this. I know there's like 3.js. Look, I don't know much about any of this crap. But, I just want a basic 2D example. I might just have to write the entirety in JavaScript for the time being. Literally just write it in JavaScript and see what happens. So what I mean by that is just write it in here or something. We can write the actual like shaders here, can't we? So script ID vertex shader type x shader / x vertex. Okay, you can do this. And then I'm just going to copy and paste it. Oh wow, is it that style of OpenGL? And yes, I prefer tabs, so I'm going to force tabs. Then we've got the fragment shader. I don't really care about high precision, but let's just enforce it for the time being. Yep. There we go. So we're then going to do this var gl canvas document get element by ID, the canvas, let's call this the canvas, gl, so canvas get context, so web gl. And then I'm literally copy and pasting this off the website. There's nothing like complicated I'm doing here. I don't care if the formatting is off. I just want to get this working. Var.gl null. Reference is not defined. Compile shader is not defined. Okay. Oh, that was the end of a... Like, that's going to cock up my formatting if I did that. So... like, I know why that's been done. Still annoying. Shader program. Okay, so it does need GL canvas is defined. Okay. I wasn't... yeah, it's been defined there. Canvas. Where's canvas? Oh, that's there. Whoops. Aspect ratio. Aspect... oh, fucking hell. Var aspect ratio. 1. Current rotation. Current scale. What are those things being defined here? This is just a stupid... if this is literally having to be what I have to define to get a basic thing going, bloody hell. Shader program. Current angle. Well, none of that was actually defined, which I find kind of funny. So now it's all running. Okay. And then I need to do animate scene. There's an animate scene thing here. Like so. And there we go with the WebGL. So now that we've got all of that on, good God, was that annoying. We could technically do everything. Like, I don't really see any reason why not. Like that's working fine. Also, let's just change the colours. The one I always love, which I think is like sky blue. It looks like sky blue, is that? Like a proper deep sky blue. Not like pale. And then that triangle that's been... so at least it's updating now. And the way it's doing it is it calls animates scene recursively. And it just has the delta every time. Which is fine, because we can always like delay on the other side. So what is going on? Because to me, this could be mappable to WASM pretty much. My only worry, and this I may be wrong here, with the GL stuff, these look like I know I've defined them here, which means I can't access them anymore. Like, how do I print the type of something? Is it just type of? So this is going to be lovely and buggy. Like, is it a reference type? Let's call that false. Oh no, it says true. Oh no, it says true. Because then it is once. Look how poor this formatting is. Oh, look, I don't really care at this point now. Yeah, that's how bad it is. Look how bad. Get rid of the breakpoint console, replace. It says object. Here's a question. It's a WebGL program, yeah? Yeah? So, here's a question which is probably never going to work. I pretty much want a reference to anything. I don't want to add a new type into Odin just for WASM to do this. I may need to, but I shouldn't need to. The way that I'm thinking about this is that you could pass this in and out quite easily. And because WASM only supports pretty much 4 different things, if I can get those types as like a pointer, can I convert this into like an I32? Because I mean... because the idea I've got is if I can get a basic like pixel buffer, even done in WebGL, which is so it's instantly rendering like this. Because by the looks of it, this animate scene is just on the perfect. It just gets called once, and then does does a function thing here, which calls itself. I think, actually, thinking that through, I didn't need WebGL in the beginning. I just needed to request animation frame, didn't I? So at least I've now got WebGL working. I can get rid of all this crap. I thought of an idea. So what I need to do is I need to have, what was it? Request animation frame, and that will give me the current time. Yeah. Like that. Function. So now it's called window. You like that? And then we're just going to call this draw current time, like so. Make sure it's context list as well. And then all we need to do in our thing is we can re-enable all of those procedures, functions, if they're called in that side. It's going to crash now, and it says GL canvas has not been referenced. And I'm like, yeah, I know, because I've got all this crap here and I don't need any of it. Okay. And then like, what was actually the code that did that? Like, it was recursively calling itself, wasn't it? Like, when I draw, I have to request itself again. Yeah? So if I put in 0 for the time being, actually, I do that, don't I? Theoretically, I did that wrong. It is a callback in here. And then the callback is still contextless, current time. And that's an F64. Fail to execute. Interesting. So what's this? Request. And it says void to double pointer. And so request on window. Callback provided as one parameter is not a function. Yes, it is. It is literally a function. And I'm going to export this as well. Window, well, let's just say WASM actually, because it should be there. WASM exports draw. There is a WebGL thing there. Ah, as soon as I did that, that's cocked everything up. And it's expecting that. So if I just do that, it works. But it's failing when I'm trying to call it. And WASM callback, because it should be in any func. So the reason why I state that is it should work. Because theoretically, I think the way I can do this is that I know what it's called. Like, I'm going to say call draw frame. Yeah, and all it does on this side is not the request any of that nonsense. It just does draw render loop. And all that does is we're going to request that, yeah. And then what it does is once we've called that, we then need to go to Window, WASM, Exports, Draw Frame, current time, and then we can explicitly just call itself again, can't we? That's the general idea. That's an infinite loop now, by the way, which I should probably do this. I still haven't actually correctly supported that, by the way. Yeah, now it's going on forever. Render loop is not defined. Yeah, it is. It's right there. Ah, it's not defined in yourself here, so let's call that. And look, it's actually rendering, and it's now infinite as well. So to prove it's infinite, we're then going to turn, let's call it x, let's say current time, let's convert that into an int. We're going to divide that by 100, and then plus 10. Like, there's loads it's now doing, and the current time looks like it's actually in milliseconds. So that's in milliseconds. Not what we wanted, of course. So if we have current time seconds, we can then get rid of the print. We can do that, and do that, and it hasn't worked. If x equals 0, else, let's go for an orange. Sorry, this is going to probably cause some epileptic fit or something. I apologize in advance. There we go. Look at that. We've done that all from Odin. That is pure Odin code. Well, it's not pure Odin, it's got JavaScript backend. But this is actually pretty productive for one evening. Honestly, in 2 hours we've gotten this working, which is not much. But that's kind of what I was literally hoping to do in this time period, was get something a pixel onto the screen, and we've got a little bit more than that. So it is all callback based, but as long as I define that the interface is well defined, and I probably will do it like Sockle app defined, like, or something like that, you know what I mean, like Sockle. Like the Sockle libraries are pretty cool, damn cool stuff. I recommend them to people. Like the SAP stuff here. These are the samples. I need to go to the real thing. So the SAP here, you need to define some functions, and these will be the callbacks at least. And what I mean by that is what you'll have is an init, a frame, event, and fail. So we need all those three things together. Not three, there's 5 of them. And then there'll be the callbacks. So if we do app frame rather than let's just divide it by 1,000. So then we know that the current time is correct. Interestingly, that might not have, that's why you can't see any of it, because the FFF is all set wrong. Yeah, I cocked up there, but that's actually pretty interesting to see what I did wrong. Let's do this correctly. So 0, 0, 9, 9, 0, 0, 0, 0, green, cyan, blue. And we don't need this flashing background anymore. Yeah. So if we then do divide times this by 1,000, well, so say no, I say 200, and then do that. Aha. I'm then going to flush that to be, I don't know, a nice little grey. Like that, that's going to be fine. Yeah. So this is not bad so far. We've now got a little thing going on. I quite like this. So we could theoretically, and these all have to be context-less as well by the looks of it. So because they would have to be, because we don't actually have the context. Which may be annoying because it's the callbacks, that's callbacks for you. Damn JavaScript. But it's not a bad way of doing it, really. So that's x2, x3, x4, x5. I could clearly make a loop for this, by the way. But I'm just trying to see how far I can get with everything here. I want to see what happens if I do 200 for every single one of them. Oh, that's pretty cool. That's actually a pretty cool. It's a bit too much. They go over by. So 200 was probably the wrong number. Actually, no, the width was probably the wrong number here. Let's call them 80 by 45. Then they've got the same aspect ratio. And then we can change that 200 to, I don't know, 150. How's that, everybody? How are you enjoying that? That is a pretty, I'm going to have to say it myself, that is pretty damn cool. And this is running from Odin. I'm so happy about this, actually. It's pretty cool. And we can make this a little bit more random as well by having numbers that don't really line up. Like that. So yeah, this is working pretty well. Oh, hello, Ben. How are you doing? We've got this working, and look how cool that is. So I've got to do that, and I'm going to refresh it. Look at that. Look at it. This is the best thing you've ever seen, isn't it, right? This is the best thing. This is all in Odin, which is so cool. I'm trying to figure out the model to do with it, because there's clearly you've still got to generate all of this JavaScript code manually, like as a wrapper. Like the blitting was working, by the way, but I've not really needed to do the blitz. But what I'm thinking, like also there's my alloc function. Just look how great the alloc function is. The thing that I'm thinking about here is so everything's kind of like working pretty cool there. Like, I know what I might do. It's just randomize these a little bit. And then they go a bit more random. Look at that. So, any questions so far? Because this is pretty cool. I'm seriously pretty chuffed with this. And I'm going to actually... Hopefully this pops up on the right window. Let's move that. I'm going to record this for myself. We don't want the entirety of it, or we only want that. Yeah, man. Yeah. Click stop. And then I'm going to post this on Twitter. That, I am saying, is pretty damn awesome. So I've just posted that on Twitter for people to see who can actually see it. I'll just post that as well. Wait a minute. Luckily I've got it on mute. So your question is, forgive your interest, but is this export part of Odin or is it new? It's completely new. It's like if you got a DLL, you're just an exporter or a lib, it will export, yeah. Sorry if I didn't answer the question. I've been having issues with all of this. So, so yeah, this is pretty damn cool. And it's not the best, clearly, demo in the world. And I've probably always got, that's not right. We want that, don't we? Yeah, let's say that's 110. And yeah, it looks good enough now. So this is pretty damn cool. So the thing I'm thinking about here is I could actually have the context. I've just realized how I could get this to be context based. And we can call that Odin, because the render loop, let's call this the Odin context. Yeah. We can add that as the last parameter, because it is the last parameter technically. And now it should all work fine. And look at that. So it actually is now the correct context and everything. And this had to be the right calling convention, because I know how everything's defined. So now we've got this all working in Odin and everything's fine. Many people might find this more interesting, of course. More people who may not be using all native as much. And let's make these all squares. And as I say again, let's just have a big list of them all, to be honest with you. Let's say 100 of them. Yeah. So then we can have X. X, what I need to do is give it some random number to do here. Yeah. So let's call it the speed. So we're going to give it some big number. And then we're going to mod, I know, 200. No, let's say mod 100 plus 50. Yes, that gives us speed. And then the R value, which will give another number in here. I'm just doing some really nice things like that. Let's give that 121 plus 60. Let's say 60. No, let's plus 50 minus 21 is 29. Like so. So S 29. And then this is going to be the offset, so I'm going to say plus 10. And then we need some colors in here. So we need a random color. I times by, we need a big number. Like so. That's a big number, right? And then FF. Color is OXFF 000. So then we got the color, we got the X. The Y position also needs to be set. So we can then just do this as well. That seems good enough to me. And I'm going to make them all, I don't know, 4 pixels big. It says mismatch types, so the thing is, I'm trying to think of a way of doing it correctly. Oh, a bit too much for the canvas that was. Let's say 30 of them. I think it's now crapping out. That looks like it's laggy as hell. So let's try 5. Just to prove it's not like... Yeah, I don't think that's correct. I don't think that's laggy, actually. Come to think of it. It's got the colours correct, at least. They're all random. Like, I don't think these are wrong necessarily. Is this just crapping out, like, on purpose, or is it actually slow? Because... Oh, wait. Yeah, I think it is, actually. I know what the problem is. You're a moron, Bill. You have to do it, because it wasn't crapping out. Let's go back to the original thing. Do that. There we go. That's much better. No, it's not a timing bug. It's a calculation bug. Let's make them 2 by 2 now and see how... Now it's pretty. Look at that. And we could probably, I don't know, XOR it with 100 actually, rather than... Oh, that wasn't good. Let's do an AND. Yeah. Yeah, percent was more better. More better, that's a technical word, right? Yeah? Let's say that number? No, let's say 200. Now that is quite pretty, isn't it? How pretty is that? We could can we say 10,000 and see what happens? Oh! Remainder by 0. Whoops. Where's the remainder by 0? Oh, it's one of these, I guess. Yeah, it's a bit crapping out now, actually. I don't think it's rendering. It might not be, it might be rendering correctly. There we go. So who thinks this is actually quite pretty? And one thing I need to do here is the position needs to be pretty much the sign of it as well. So if we do I2, I want to just alternate them as well. You want to turn a 0 and 1. So we times it by 2 and then do -1, yeah? Yeah. Okay. Like so. Now that is some pretty snow confetti. And we can probably make that a little bit more dense. Yeah? And I could probably make that a little bit more random direction and random speeds. Like, I know what the numbers are meant to be. So I'm just going to... Oops, not do that, do that. And... yeah, let's go back to just opposite directions, because that always look a bit like nicer, actually. These are random, these are clearly some brilliant numbers to do things on. Whoops, it still remained by 0, and I think I know why. It's just because... yeah, that's not very nice with the different things, but if I do 12, we don't get as good. If I do that, it's a little bit nicer, but I thought the 21, that was nice. I'm looking at like code primes, I guess. I don't want any cofactors. So like 151. I don't know. I'm just writing time and random numbers at the moment to see what happens. Oh, that's nice. Now I like that. Let's render that. Wait. I'm gonna go bed in a minute because this is too much fun. That's why I need to go sleep. Another tweet as well. Just gonna upload that one as well. Right, it's getting working. It's working well. So I'm pretty happy with this. I hope other people are happy with this example, because this is good. Now, what that means, I also need to commit some changes to Odin. Fix WASM foreign import names. Yeah, it's just pushing them now to the server. That's all I need to do. So that's before I do and go anywhere else. I am pretty happy with that. So I hope people enjoy that. So thank you all for watching, and I now need to go to sleep because this is quite late for me and I need to be up in the morning. So thank you all for watching. I am pretty damn happy. I'm figuring this out. I do wonder actually how many I could put. Does 10,000 like crap it out? Yeah, 10,000 is getting a bit slow now. It's still interesting. It doesn't fill the canvas that well. I guess that's because of other reasons. And like, let's go 50,000. Oh no, that's a category 10. That's a category 10. Let's go back to 1,000. Yeah. No, not enough. That wasn't enough. Was it 2,000? 10,000? Yeah, now that's pretty. So, good night everybody, and thank you all for watching. And I hope this has been enjoyable, and it's been very productive for me. Yeah, I'm betting hitting garbage collections 10,000. Actually, no, I won't. Oh, I will. This is the problem. Because technically I'm not hitting any... I'm hitting 10,000 draw calls, yeah. So I might be doing garbage collection crap, which is originally why I want to just blit some pixel buffer, because if I blit a pixel buffer, everything goes, and it'd be a lot simpler, and I can handle all the memory on my side, and it'd be a hell of a lot faster, and I don't even have to have garbage collection. Yay! So good night, everybody, and I'm going to sleep for definite.